Okay, as we take a look at hitting here, really before we even swing a bat, we want to look at the kind of the pre-pitch or kind of the setup a little bit. It's kind of tough to see, but one thing we want to pay special, close attention to is the grip of the bat. We want to have a nice, relaxed, loose grip. All right, we don't want to be trying to kill it or choke the bat. All right, we want to have a loose grip with the bat in our fingers, not back in the palms. And I zoomed in here so you can maybe see to have our knocking knuckles lined up. One way to see if we're gripping the bat correctly is ask the batter to point. And if they can point and their fingers point to the sky, all right, then we know that they are pretty well lined up. I guess a little bit more like that. All right, that's pretty good. Now, if he was over-rotating and gripping poorly when he's pointing, his pointer fingers would point more, left and right, rather than, as you can see, they're up and down. Okay, so Bobby's got a good grip there. All right, now other things with the kind of the setup. We do want to have a nice wide stance, wider than shoulder width. Knees should be bent, and we can see our hands should be at the top of the strike zone as they are. We like to have the bat kind of be perpendicular to the ground. Bobby, as a hitter, you'll see as he's going, he'll have a tendency to wrap the bat a little bit. He's got a quick enough bat, he can get it through the zone. It doesn't really hurt him much. Another thing Bobby does that's a little different than what we might say is he does start with that elbow up a little higher. But what he does do is he does a nice job of making sure that the first thing he does is get that elbow right down to the hip, kind of right in the slot. That's kind of what we say. So we've got a good setup. We got to look at our load here. Slight weight transfer back right there. Just a slight one. Doesn't need to be anything too big. In fact, we want to try to make sure that our knees and our weight, do really kind of stay inside our feet. Okay, we don't want to get our weight too far back or too far forward. We'll get off balance or we'll be lunging at the ball. We want to kind of stay nice and centered. Throughout the swing, about 60% of the weight should be on our back foot and 40 on the front, or at most 50-50 when we're kind of squared up. We're really not going to see much of a stride, and we really don't want one. If you take a look at that front foot, where it starts, really is kind of where it ends. So he's got a nice locked front foot. You can see he is more of a kind of a 50-50 weight guy with his weight kind of right in the middle of his feet. But if we take a look at the next thing, I guess, on the list, which would be contact, what we're looking for is a nice, short, compact swing. All right, and we do that by keeping our hands inside the ball and not casting our hands and arms away from our body. Now, what you'll see here is Bobby does a great job of getting his elbow right down to his hip. All right, and that's going to help him kind of keep inside the ball and have a nice short swing. He leads with the knob of the bat, all right here, and as we can see, the bat then is going to be kind of on plane of the ball. So as the ball is coming in right here on this plane, Bobby's swing kind of came through to match it. All right, he didn't have an uppercut swing. He didn't chop down at it. With those yellow lines, you can see the bat doesn't stay in the path of the ball very long. All right, and so we definitely, if this was the plane right here of the ball coming in, his green line that his bat stays on, if you can see it right here, he's on that path of that ball, and that's why he makes contact a lot without striking out. Puts it in play. That's kind of the name of the game. Put it in play and put it in play hard, and Bobby does that. All right, so his swing is good, his elbow is in the slot, and he's got a good bat path. Now for power, well, we definitely want to get the barrel to the ball. That's part of it, and Bobby does that. But another thing is he takes a look at that pitch. It was a little low and inside. But as we're going here, we'll kind of zoom in, even on a high pitch. Okay, on a high pitch, if we can zoom in on his hands just a little bit, it's tough to see, but his top palm is still up. Okay. And we don't want to roll our hands over. We want the top palm up and kind of extend through the ball. In fact, even on a high pitch that's tough to handle, you can see he's still got bend in his arms before he hits the ball. Okay, they're still bent, and it's right there where he makes contact. That's where he's starting to extend and straighten out his arms. All right, so it's a good extension after contact. All right, power will also come from the lower half. You want to see a nice kind of bend in that back knee. That knee should be kind of driving down and in. All right, which is what Bobby does. You can see that back knee kind of drives down and in, which is going to help rotate his hips through as well. So he really utilizes his whole body in his swing, and so that's good power there. The backside pivot, that's kind of like what I just showed with that knee driving down. All right, and you can see he's not lunging. He's not getting out in front like I mentioned. His weight is still staying inside his front foot. And when he's done, if you take a look at his finish, it's really nice. On his swing path, even low or high pitches, it doesn't matter. Bobby's going to finish high. All right. He finishes balanced. He's not falling forward or falling back. And other things we'd want to point out too is, he still has that front foot is locked. And as we always kind of like to look at, that back foot, kind of the heel over toe. We don't really say squish the bug, but it's heel over toe. So if you kind of really take a look at his overall swing, he does a nice job and has worked on it. So good luck, and if you have any questions, be sure to let me know. I guess I should say overall, you can see a good, confident hitter when you see him, relaxed with an easy swing, and that ball just kind of jumps off the bat. So thanks a lot.